You know what I love? Video game renders from the 90s. Whether they be from Kirby 64, Donkey Kong Country, Super Mario RPG, and Super Mario 64 of course. Does Kirby 64 count? It might as well. The outdated feel of them is just such a vibe, honestly, I can't describe it. They're just so cool. Ew. Okay, well yeah, not all of them are good, but for the most part, these are dope. So, have you ever wondered what the games would actually look like if the hardware was capable of these graphics? An uncultured swine would say, just look at a game like Super Mario Odyssey. Shut up, please. Shut up. If you're about to say that, please don't. Stop talking. The character designs and everything are completely different. You can't say that this Mario looks like this Mario. You can't say that this Bowser looks like this Bowser. I hope you get the point because I'm gonna be moving on now. Now, onto the game we're talking about. Super Mario 64, a truly revolutionary game. A game that set a new standard for Mario titles. A game that set a new standard for video games. A game that showed how 3D games should work. A game that has been speedran to death. Speedran, that sounds kind of weird now that I'm saying it. A game which I'm glad can't calculate playtime hours because my number would be an embarrassing amount. There is still a huge community surrounding this game today. There are countless ROM hacks, countless speedrunners. Speaking of speedrunning, the game has been brutally optimized. How the fuck is the 70-star world record at 46? A lot of people speedrun this game, even I gave running the game a shot. Okay, yeah, I'm aware it's not that great. If Bowser throws were a thing, I'd have a much better time, believe me. They just completely take all my motivation away from playing. Who the fuck thought spinning a stick and pressing a button at a certain time would be a cool boss fight? No, it sucks, it's dumb, it's lame. Even if you got a CRT box, Bowser throws are stupid. Okay, now back to the main topic. In May of 2020, a crazy Super Mario 64 related project was finished. Super Mario 64 was reverse engineered and natively ported to PC. I gotta be very clear, this is not emulation, this is the game on PC. I'm sure you all know Nintendo just loved this. They were so happy about this project. It was also ported to other platforms such as Android and even 3DS. This dude is an Android! I always want to see a Nintendo 64 game running smoothly on the 3DS. The 3D also works on this, which is like, what? Too bad the system is completely outdated now. It's very cool to see some of the stuff people were able to implement into the PC port. New character models, but I'm not really a fan of some of these. Ray tracing, this looks like shit. And of course, Render96. Render96, so I reached out to the creator of this mod, Dork, and asked a couple of questions. He says that the main goal of this project is to mimic the style used in the 90s promotional renders for Super Mario 64. Yeah, that's right, remember these? Imagine if the game actually looked like that. Well, the goal of Render96 is to make that happen. I also asked him what inspired him to start working on this. The idea of this project does seem kind of random and obscure, but cool at the same time. Quote,
"What drove me to start it was finding the PC port and learning about how to mod. I loved how the renders looked when I was a kid, so I wanted to start off with something easy. I was trying to import Melee trophy models into the game, and it caught the interest of a few people to help me on my project. We then migrated to a new server to work on it."
While Dork finalizes the work, a lot of other people are also working on this project. How many people are working on it, you may ask? Quote,
"The number of active members can vary. We have around 60 people in the dev server, but only 7 or so people are full-time. I make sure whatever is worked on will work in-game."
Now, I want to be very clear, this project is still a work in progress. It's split up into 2 parts, one part being near completion, and the second part will likely take much longer to complete. So, what are these 2 parts? The first part is replacing all of the basic models. As you can see, Mario has been replaced, of course. But not only this, Peach has been replaced. Lakitu has been replaced. The pipes have been replaced. The toads have been replaced. Goombas have been replaced. Bob-ombs have been replaced. Bowser has been replaced. Coins have been replaced. Trees have been replaced. Thank God. Stars have been replaced. F***ing heave-hos have been replaced. I think you get the point. Now, you may be thinking, well, it still looks off. And you know why it looks off? Well, yeah, sure, the lighting is a part of it, but there is a whole other project being worked on for the PC port by Dario aiming to fix this. This is beautiful, but we can talk about this another day. It's not even public yet. You can also add ambient occlusion via reshade, but it does look kinda off and it does bleed through the HUD. Also, yeah, fog does not affect it either, which sucks. So back to what I was talking about. What's wrong with it? The maps. The second part of the project has to do with remaking the maps. Currently, the maps are all in their low poly glory, for now. Actually, the first arena in Bowser in the Dark World has been replaced, but that's it. Something I find odd though, is that the collision is going to remain the same. Yeah, I think you can understand why this is a bit odd. There is a reason why it's the same though, I'll get to it in a bit. I asked Dork how long he thinks it'll take for the project to be complete. His response, quote,
"I plan on having the first part of the project,"
meaning the basic models which I just went over,
"done before the end of the year, but it could take a bit longer than that. The first part of the project will have all the current models' designs completed, as well as a new system to load uncompressed audio samples that the team is recreating."
Oh yeah, uncompressed audio, that's another thing. Listen to this video with headphones. I'll link it in the description. It's interesting for sure.
The second part of the project will focus on level design,
As mentioned,
with no ETA on that.
now let's take a look at the current state of the project, because I gotta fill up 10 minutes somehow. Start the game up and you'll get this new logo and new Mario head. Yeah, a fully remade Mario head, pretty nice. As mentioned earlier, Peach is updated, Lakitu is updated, the pipes are updated, and the trees. I'm gonna say it again, thank God. I always found the 2D tree sprites which followed your camera in the original game to be oddly disturbing. It's just so weird. Imagine if in real life trees were 2D sprites and did that. Something big I've yet to mention, I'm stupid, is that alongside remaking the models, there's another section to this project. Remaking the textures, which is like pretty much done. I've gotta say, these remade textures look great. Everything is just so crisp and accurate to the originals. I love these textures so much, they work very well. Props to the guys who worked on these, I love them. I'll show some comparisons to the original, because why not? Here's a cool little additional feature. See that little Mario head icon in the top left corner? It's dynamic. For example, when he takes off his hat during the animation after you come back from a stage, the icon will briefly show the hat off. Grab a metal cap, it'll turn metal. Such a neat little addition. I love small, unnecessary, stupid shit like this. You know what's really underappreciated in video games? High quality door models. These look great. Could definitely use some high quality railings though. I'm afraid I'll get a paper cut just looking at these. The second you go into Bob-omb Battlefield and see the remade cannon, Chain Chomp, Bob-ombs, Goombas, trees, and coins, you'll think, man, I wish the map remakes were complete. Or is that just me? I hope not. I want to see this project complete so bad. A common complaint I've seen about this project is the fact that the original animations just don't fit with the remade models. I can agree with this. There are some cases where they just don't work. For example, when you take your hat off, it will clip through the ground. Honestly though, this is not as big of a deal as some people make it out to be. In my opinion, I gotta make that very clear for the internet. This is some stuff that should be updated with finishing touches. Basically what I'm trying to say is I think we'd all like to see remakes of the maps first. Here is the part of the video where we appreciate how Metal Mario looks with this mod. Look at that, it looks great. Obviously, the reflections are just a static image, but a certain someone might make that change. If you have one of those NASA supercomputers, nah, I'm sure it's not that demanding, but I have heard this mod is pretty demanding. I mean, the title of the video showcasing it is I bought a $1,500 GPU to play Super Mario 64 with RTX, so make of that as you will. So yeah, as shown earlier, the Bowser in the Dark World Arena is the only stage that has been remade so far. Bowser also does this weird crossed arms esport professional gamer pose when you first enter, I don't know why. But yeah, since the collision is the same as the original, it is pretty weird indeed. The reason why it's kept the same? For speedrunning. Now you're probably thinking, well, you can't speedrun on the PC port with a mod. And you'd be correct. But this is mainly for making tool-assisted speedruns maintain compatibility. Bowser does look a bit too big, I think. I'm not sure if that's just me. While playing through the game with this mod, you may spot some green keys. When you go to the courtyard, you'll see a blue pipe which obviously isn't present in the actual game. What am I getting at here? They added a little bonus to this mod. L is indeed real. Find the 10 green keys. I will not be showing you where they are, find them yourself, jump in the pipe, and boom! You'll be able to play as Luigi, who has the exact same moveset from Mario 64 DS. And also sounds exactly like Mario, go figure. Looking at their Twitter, they've definitely made some nice progress in this mod. Don't believe me? Here was the original Mario model. Yikes! They also posted a little sneak peek of the castle recreation, and Whomp's Fortress. I think this is a remake of the Wind Cap stage, I can't really tell, I'm a bit stupid, I can't tell if it's remade or not. And unrelated, but these custom advertisements for the mod that look straight out of the 90s. Yeah, this is peak gamer experience right here. The missing ingredient is a short little video they posted on their YouTube channel. It's this wholesome little animation where they put Luigi on the ending screen cake next to Mario, but let's be real, this was mainly made to show off this excellent recreation of the ending screen. It looks great, or to advertise that Luigi was added to the mod, I don't know. So as of November 2020, that is Render96. A very unique and interesting mod, and one that I can definitely appreciate. I'll probably revisit this project later when more progress has been made on it. While it is sort of split into two parts, I don't really feel comfortable saying it's halfway finished because who knows how long recreating the levels will take, and it only makes sense to guess it will be a longer process than remaking the basic models. In my opinion, Render96 is the definitive Super Mario 64 quote-unquote remake project. It fits the aesthetic of the original game. If you try to slap on Super Mario Odyssey-esque graphics on Super Mario 64, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like the same game, if that makes any sense. If that's what you're going for, trying to modernize the title, that's fine. It's just not my thing, I guess. If you want to support Render96, I'll link their Twitter, Discord, YouTube, and Patreon in the description. I'll also link their Trello, which will show you the current state of the project and what's to come. So, to wrap things up, I don't have a lot to complain about with this mod so far. Besides the animations, which is a very minor complaint. Some people may disagree, but I think it's pretty minor. But one thing I can say, if they start aiming to look like this render, that's when we're gonna have problems.